So for today's video, I wanted to share a little bit about really what I feel has been my incredible life story. It's back in 1897. I was born to my wonderful parents, Mark and Nancy Curtis. Spent my early years harvesting crops on the family farm. If I remember correctly, I was still pretty young, but I was a very prolific farmer. Won several state competitions and recognitions of excellence for my contribution to agriculture. At this time, I also was an inventor of Tetris, still a game played by many. I don't feel like I'm really recognized that much for my contributions to both agriculture and Tetris, the game, of course. That's fine enough. So fast forward a few years. I taught myself Taekwondo at the age of, I want to say, 11. I then forgot it on purpose and taught myself again just so I could learn it a second time. I'm, pretty famous, especially in Antarctica, for my mastery of Taekwondo as a discipline. Spent my early 20s traveling. Most notable was my stop in the Himalayas. Really just a beautiful place. The highlight of that experience, I would say, I met a poisonous toad, and it really is remarkable that he was able to survive under those conditions. His name was Ned. He was a really good guy. Taught me a lot about life. Many valuable insights. Life lessons. He almost emotional to talk about Ned. I mean, he's since passed on. He fell off a cliff and died. It was really sad, really tragic. He had acquired a distinct amount of wealth in his early years. I remember Ned telling me a story one evening about his uncle Dungus, who lived in the, I believe Ned said, the 1400s. And his uncle Dungus was one of the more wealthy poisonous toads at the time, and he passed on to Ned a great deal of wealth, which Ned was very gracious to share some of that with me. I used those, charitable donations to author my first book, my treatise on human nature, which is published, I want to say, about 737,692 copies. You can't get that in Barnes & Noble, but I do have a few spare copies in the garage if anybody wants to stop by and pick some up. This past year, I haven't done a whole lot. I did start to work on a new book, really telling my life story, especially my time spent as a soybean farmer. I did allude to my farming history in the start of this video, but I spent some of my recent years working to master the craft of soybean farming. At this time, I actually lived in a meteorite crater. It was a bit lonely. sitting in a big hole in the ground all day. But, it was okay. So my plans for the week, I'm probably going to just talk about the future a little bit, where I see myself at the end of this week. Probably a week older would be my guess. When another week passes, I think I'll be a week older. So, I think, coming up on 5.5 minutes. Actually past 5.5 minutes. Going on 5 minutes and 40 seconds now. And I think that's gonna, it's probably gonna be it for today's video. So, hope you're having a terrible day. I'm just gonna stare until it's 6 minutes exactly.